So let's move on to the final objective of today's lecture, which is models of innovation. So here we're going to discuss about three types of models of innovation, which are tech push, market pull, triple helix model. So we're going to discuss about these two types of models, which are tech push innovation and market pull innovation. So tech push innovation, it started with the basic science, the R&D and the labs, and then it goes to marketing phase, and then design and engineering, where that's going to define, refine the innovation, and then goes to manufacturing, production, and then finally up to the sales, which is the market. Whereas the market pull innovation, you start with the what market needs, and then you develop an innovation based on what market needs, and then you manufacture it, you produce it, and then it goes back to the sales. It goes back to the market. So both ends up with sales, which is the market, but but the tech push innovation begins with the R&D, whereas the market pull innovation begin with what the market needs. So we're going to discuss about this more details now. So technology push defined as is when research and development in new technology and drives the development of new products. So usually it does not involve market research. It tends to start with a company developing an innovative technology and applying to a product, and the company then markets the product. So this is a bit of detail than what I've just discussed just now. So technology push is basically started with the R&D, and then later on to the new product and the introduced to the public. An example of a technology push innovation is a touchscreen technology. So it was first appeared as a published research in the UK mid 1960s, and then the technology began to attract research and development funding, which later on in 1980s Hewlett Packard introduced a touchscreen computer. In 1993, a handwriting recognition introduced by Apple's Newton PDA. In 1996, Palm introduced its Pilot series. I don't know whether you have heard of this before. PDA, Palm. Probably you guys are the smartphone generation. So, and now you can see the touchscreen technology in the smartphone. Next is the market pull. So similar to what I've just said, it refers to the need or requirement for a new product or a solution to a problem, which comes from the marketplace. The need is identified by the potential customer or market research. A product or a range of products are developed to solve the original need. So an example of market pull is the digital camera. So 20 years ago, there was a market requirement for a camera that could take endlessly photograph and could be viewed almost immediately. If not, this was probably before 2000s. Yeah, before mid 2000s. So people usually use film camera. So we take picture. Um, there will be a roll of film. So there will be like a 36 picture that you can only take for one take, and then you have to go and send it to the Photoshop, a real Photoshop, not Photoshop apps, software Photoshops, and then you will ask them to produce a picture, and then you're going to see some of the pictures are not a good picture, so there's like a waste of your film. And then later on, so then there is a requirement by the market that they would like to have a camera that they can see the photograph immediately. So that's when they have the digital camera. So the market pull need eventually lead to the electronics company developing digital camera. Once miniature digital storage, processing power, and improved battery performance was available, yes, battery performance was important. I can tell you that I went through this market pull of digital camera transition, and market pull ensured that photo editing software also developed in parallel with development of digital camera technology. And now you can see that not many people use digital camera. People just use your handphone for you taking pictures. So that's the current evolution of camera. So next is a triple helix model of innovation. If you're a biology student, triple helix is not a alien for you, alien term for you, because you know this as a DNA structure. We're gonna have diagram a DNA structure later. So let's start with the evolution of this model. So at the moment, the final evolution results in the hybrid organization and actions. But previously, we have statist triple helix and also laissez-faire triple helix. If you learn French, you know it's called laissez-faire. Anyway, so in statist triple helix, um, you have statist actually refers to the state. It means that the government control the industry and academia. So government organize these actors, the industry and academia, to encourage innovation. Usually industry is the main champion in innovation, whereas the academia just do the teaching and research, academic research. So that's is the statist triple helix model. And then you have laissez-faire triple helix model, which is definitely different than the statist triple helix, because here is that you can see the dot. It means that each of these actor work independently. So they don't operate, they don't really link to each other. Um, so they have a separate institutional spheres. They only interact modestly across strong boundaries. So as the as COVID, this person who come up with this who come up with the evolution of triple helix model, he finally came up with the hybrid organization and actions. So here you can see that each of these actor, the state, the academy, state of the government, academia and industry are working together. And this is the part here where these synergies work. So this model is an analogy for the central ideas that each helix or actors is linked to another. Therefore, the overall helix is strengthened through the structure of interfaces, and this leads to capitalization of synergies. Next, we're going to look at how the current triple helix looks like. So you have academia, industry, and government. These are the main actors. Trilateral or trilateral network, a hybrid organization, which is in this middle. And this one actually reflects the DNA structure. So it shows that there's a linkages, interaction among institutions in the sphere as dynamics and endless transitional processes. I hope you get what I'm trying to I mean, the main important point for you to understand from this triple helix model is that you have statist, which is the statist model. Initially, you have statist model where the government actually control the innovation activities. Industry is the main key player for innovation, whereas the academia just do their work in teaching and education. And then you have another one which is laissez-faire. Basically, people just do whatever they want. So each actor works independently. They don't work cooperatively. They don't have synergies. And then these innovation models evolve to this current one where we have interaction between all these institutions. And yeah, that's the main point. And then why this triple helix, the current triple helix model is important. Let's look at the further discussion. So this triple helix model of innovation actually showed that the university has a prominent role in innovation. It is at par with the industry and government, especially in this knowledge-based society. So movement towards collaborative relation among these three major institutional spheres, in which innovation policy is an outcome of their interaction rather than the prescription from the government, which is what we saw in the statist model. So in addition to fulfilling their traditional functions, okay, each institutional spheres also take the roles of the other. So because you have that one in the middle, so each one of them can do the role of others. Okay, each actor is linked to another and helps in the structure of interfaces between them. For example, industry will gain some of the values of the university and sharing as well as protecting knowledge. I think this type of activities has started to be more active in Malaysia. We can see that if you live in 12th College, you can see there's a building that's, I don't remember what is it called, VMX, right? So that's where you have industry linkage with the university. So yeah, those are companies in UM. and yeah, they are working with the university. So you can see the triple helix, where the government involved in that UMX. So obviously the policy, without the government policy, we can't do what we want. So yeah, in this model, all three spheres will be able to interact and collaborate with one another actively in order to promote strong innovation activities. All of them will gain values from each other that can help them to achieve common long-term strategies goals. So, in developing country, especially triple helix institution has faced challenges and issues, which are relationship issues, university issues, and policy issues. These three issues you need to know. You need to know what are the issues, which are these three issues. Okay, so when you talk about relationship issues, it's basically including the links and different culture of work between university, industry, and government agency. Obviously, people in industry work differently than people in the government, and people in government work differently than people in university. So this different culture cause issues. Hence, you have this a bit of setback when you're doing to when you want to do innovation activities. Universities issues mainly about the perception of status of universities and its capabilities. Sometimes people question because university people thought that it's just supposed to do academic teaching and education, but university do have R&D, and they have, so that's why they need to be part of this model. They need to be part of these innovation activities. Next is the policies. Several countries, such as in the Latin Americas, have stressed the need to develop the right policies to integrate knowledge and activities and the absence of commercialization or intellectual property policies. So, um, in Malaysia, we have all these intellectual property policies in place. We have the commercialization. So in especially, we have the RMC. What is it stands for? Research. I don't know. I don't remember what is it called. What is it stands for? Research at RMC. Research. But but the building is in front of KK12, if I'm not mistaken, or in front of the UMX. So this um this this actor actually has everything integrated. They have the commercialization and intellectual property in place. So in short, Malaysia is in the right track in going for doing the innovation. So when talking about innovation, it's definitely talking about economic R&D. Economic R&D, we're definitely talking about a knowledge-based economy. In conclusion, you need to know that people who are doing research, which is you guys, sometimes later on in your career, you need to know how the economy works. You need to know how we can gain or we can have profit from our R&D, and what sort of economy system, not system, what sort of economy environment that can help us to gain profit. So with Malaysia recognizing knowledge-based economy as an important type of economy, hopefully we are in the right track. We can innovate, we can flourish, we can have a better economic growth and better GDP per capita. So that's all from me for today. These are the references, and I'll see you after Raya. And selamat hari raya, everybody.